So a beautiful Wednesday morning, and I think I'm about ready to give this thing a fire. I have put 5 gallons of fuel in it, added a little sea foam to it. I have a squirt bottle filled with gas that I tried to put some in the float bowl anyway. Remember, or not, you probably don't remember, I barely do. When I was running this before I pulled the engine apart, I did run it out of fuel, so there's probably no fuel in the line. So hopefully it will fire up with the gas I put in it and we can get it going. I have a timing light sitting here if it fires to get the timing set right. Distributor's too loose. Let me tighten that up, snug that up a little bit, and we'll give this thing a shot. Okay, let's see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? I don't know. It could be bad, but let's see what happens. I got a lot of wet gas under here. Let's open the choke up. I can hear I got an exhaust leak back where I put that heat riser in, but let's see if we can't get it running anyway. Let's advance it a bit. Let's see, this rotates this way, so advancing is going to be this way. Fuel. Get the choke back on. I think I tightened that exhaust back up. But considering the butchery I did to the heat riser, and when I was looking at my video, I think I might have hooked it up wrong, but you know what? I'm not worried about that for now. That won't be a hard fix no matter what's wrong with it. Oh, key's not on. Duh. Let me turn the key on. Yeah, I definitely have an exhaust leak under there. That doesn't surprise me. I may have to cut that pipe and pull it down and put a piece in to completely bypass the heat riser. Sounds like it wants to. Does it want more air or less? Oh, that sounded like a little too advanced, doesn't it? Let's back it off a bit. Let's see if I can see the timing mark. Something's dripping, not sure what. Timing light's not making timing light things for some reason. Been so long since I've used it. Well, I used it on the Jeep not that long ago. Let's turn the idle up a bit. We'll see what that does for us. Yeah, I definitely have created a big-ass exhaust leak back there. Let me fill the float bowl up again. I seem to have gas pumping in. That may be overfilled now, who knows? How about that, huh? Okay, well that's actually, except for the huge exhaust leak, that actually didn't sound too bad. Nothing's leaking out. Timing light still doesn't work. Could be because I had it hooked up back. That's 10 degrees right there. Well, it will still not run with the choke wide open, so I think I've probably still got a massive vacuum leak someplace. I just noticed one of my spark plug wires wasn't on. I wonder when and where that happened. These things, I've got grease on them, and if you don't burp the air out of them, the air pressure will push them right back off. Not sure whether that was causing a problem, but I imagine it was. I've got the smoke leak detector here, and it does seem to have enough oil in it, so let's hook it up, let's start it, and let's see if I can see any other intake leaks. Well, any intake leaks in it. All right, I am going to plumb this directly into the back of the manifold, and yeah, we're going to get a bunch out of the carburetor top, even with my cover on it. Well, let's see if we can see anything else. I see something coming. Oh yeah, I see something jetting right out of there. Look at that. I got a hole right in there. There's your problem, mister. All right, let's figure that out and fix it. I love that thing. If you don't have one of these things, they are great. I'll put a link to this one below. Of the 3 that I've tried, this is my favorite one. I mean, I'm sure there are ones I'd probably like more, but I've only tried 3, and this is my favorite so far. I just want to add to that, while this is my favorite of the 3, all 3 worked. All 3 did the same job. I just like the way this one fills. I just kind of prefer the way it works. I don't know if you can see it back there, but I just got that screw stuck in it with some silicone on it. This is all going to come back anyway because I want the carburetor that came on this car to go back on it, and I still have to rebuild it. But for now, let's see if that cured the problem of it not running without the choke being on. I need to turn the idle screws back in. I think I have them turned out to 3 turns, which is a bit much. You know, before we do that, let's connect. Now that the smoke detector is connected, let's turn it back on and let's make sure that I'm not getting anything else out of there. Not seeing anything else so far. Not seeing anything else out of the carburetor base, out of the manifold. So I think I'm good. I think I have that problem solved. All right. Let me turn those screws back in like a turn or so, maybe a turn and a half, and we'll fire it back up and see if I fixed it. Okay, I have the smoke leak detector disconnected. The port that I was going into plugged. I have the leaky port plugged. I have my idle screws back out 1.5 turns from all the way in. I got my spark plug that was popping back up. I burped all of them just to be sure. And let's try it again and see what happens. Let's see what happens now. I'm hoping for better things. Oh, gotta turn the key on. Keep forgetting that. Wow. Choke wide open. How about that? My return spring needs to be shortened a bit. How about that, huh? Listen to her purr. Gotta fix the exhaust leak. But wow. That sounds so good now. Let's hear it at the tailpipe. Look at that, it's not even smoking. Wow. I see a little Yowzer. Damn, who do I think I am? I see a little bit of leakage right down here. I'm not worried about that for now. Boy, that sounds good. That is excellent. Absolutely excellent. I think the accelerator pump needs a little adjustment. See, I'm not getting any pump at all. Watch the arm. That needs to be adjusted. I've also noticed I had a bunch of congealed gasoline down there. That must have been left over in the tank, and it got in there and congealed. So I might have to pop the carb back off and fix that. Oh wow, listen to that idle. That is sweet. What is that? That is at 700 RPM. Temperature gauge right where I would expect it to be. And shockingly enough, they didn't put an oil pressure gauge on this car, but it does have a light, and that's off. Well, it's got hydraulic lifters. If I had no oil pressure, I'd have no hydraulic lifters, and it would be making lots of noise. So I am really, really happy. I am so happy at the way this is now running that I think I might go on and make lunch and just do something else and enjoy the day. So it is the next day out. I did take the rest of that day off from the Mustang just because it was just so uplifting for me to hear that thing idle and run good, that I just kind of wanted to carry that through with me the rest of the day before anything else went wrong. I also had some work I'm doing on the CJ7, which I'll show you in another video. And the wife had some things for me to do too. So I had a really good day. I have had a couple of really, I mean, not terrible weeks, but a couple of weeks where it was just one setback after the next. So it really felt good to me to have this thing run and idle good. Really felt like I was getting back on the track with the goalposts in sight again. So next day, let's get this thing started up again. I believe I have my exhaust leak either fixed or hugely minimized, and I have this leak here fixed by tightening the clamp up. Yes, I know. I do it nice because I do it twice. Let's start this up. Let's hear it run again. Then I got to get back to the other drivability things. I've got to get the brakes rebled. I've got to get the stop lamp switch fixed, and I've got a couple, and I still got to test to see if the transmission works, and I've got to replace the neutral safety switch or figure out why the neutral safety switch is not functioning. So anyway, let's just start it up. I just want to hear it run again. It is stone cold. Choke is on. Let's give it a little bit of fuel. And I put another spring on the accelerator pump, one that will shut it completely. And let's see if she'll run for us. Now I got no crank. Why do I have no crank? I have a no cranky situation. Beautiful. Still hearing the exhaust leak down there, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to let it warm up again and check for leaks. Yes, it's still leaking down at the heat riser exhaust leak. That's because there's no gasket in it. I only had the one gasket and I ruined it. So I'll have to get another gasket in there. Not worried about that right now. This always was a bit of a cold-blooded beast, but my gosh, it sure runs good now compared to what it was doing before. Not even much smoke from back here. Why are the lights on? Because I had them turned on. My gosh, that sounds good. No ticky ticky ticky. No knock knock knock. I'm gonna let her warm up and then we'll come back. All right, engine is warmed up, thermostat is open, idle is nice, really sounds like it is hitting on all 8, at least sitting here at idle. I had forgotten to tighten the radiator cap, so when the thermostat opened, it puked a bunch of water out onto the fan blades, so that's why it all looks wet under there, but there is nothing currently leaking. I still think I have a little coolant leak right here, but this is just a short piece of stub hose. It does appear to be coming out of the hose. That's easy enough to fix. Still doesn't sound great when I rev it, but got a little bit of a ticky-tacky still in it. But it is so much better than what it was. So much better. So I am now feeling really motivated again to get out here and work on this. I was really struggling with motivation there for a while, and my other projects weren't going too good. They're now back on track too. So my really bad couple of weeks, I think, are going to be a really good couple of weeks coming up. Motivation is back. Attitude is back. I want to thank everybody for the comments and suggestions, even the goofy ones. Even the goofy ones are fun. But I want to thank everybody for that, and I want to thank y'all for coming along with me. And next on this, I'm not even going to worry about that stupid exhaust leak back there. It's not big enough that I really care about. Next on me is getting a brake pedal back. All the brakes have been done. New master cylinder, all new brakes, all new wheel cylinders. I just accidentally ran the master dry when I was bleeding them, so I need to fix that. I never did get the stop lamp switch back in correctly because it is so difficult for me to work under the dash of this car. I've got to get a new brake lamp switch coming. I've got to get that fixed. When I get the brakes bled properly and get a pedal again, then I am going to check to make sure the transmission shifts through all the gears, at least best I can sitting here. And I'm going to get some other minor parts for the engine coming. I'll probably just put an aftermarket air cleaner on it. But I'm also going to get the proper carburetor, which I have for it, that 428 Cobra Jet carburetor. I'm going to get that rebuilt, and I'm going to get that back on now that I know the engine runs right. And we're going to get it down on its feet. I'm going to roll it out, give it a proper cooling flush, change the oil again, and yeah, we're going to go from there. We might actually even be driving this thing before it gets too hot out to want to even stand out here. Anyway, again, thanks to everybody for commenting and watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.